It takes two, baby. It takes two. Two turntables. Yeah, two turntables. A tale of two tables today on United States of Analog. The Fosi Audio Luna 3, the U-Turn Orbit Basic. I'm going to give you the features, I'm going to describe them, and then you're going to vote in the comments. Yeah, you are. It's your civic audio duty. Let's get to work. Hi, I'm Bob, and you, my friends, are back in United States of Analog. How you doing out there? Today we have... Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. Everything's groovy. It's Friday. It's the weekend. And I told myself that I am actually going to sit down at some point during the weekend and listen to music for pleasure. Because, and I'm not complaining, but when you get into this weird YouTube game, you play the same test tracks over and over and over again for comparison. And it's been a while since I sat down with my favorite records. And listen, I'm not going to go to ACL Fest this week. I'm not going to watch too much football. I'm going to try to carve out some time to listen to some music, and I recommend that you do the same. We're here. We have two turntables. The U-Turn Orbit Basic. The Fosi Audio Luna 3. This is my goal for today. We're not going to do, bona fide reviews. I'm going to do each of these tables in separate videos coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to go through the features, the good, the bad, the differences, and at the end, I would love it if you guys could come together as a community and vote. If you were in the market for a $300 to $400 turntable, say, which of these two would you like? But before you can vote, you need to do your research. I'm going to give you a little bit of my research so that you can vote, and I'll pass on the results to the manufacturers, and hopefully they won't be too upset with me. But we've got two different turntables from two different parts of the world. So let's go ahead and start. This is the Fosi Audio Luna 3 at about, what are we talking about here, Bob? We're talking $300 to $350 or so. I don't even know if it's on the market. I thought it was, and then it maybe came off the market. Now it's still showing as a Kickstarter on their website. This is the second one I've had in. They sent me a prototype and then one in a retail box, but I cannot find any evidence that this is on sale at the time of this taping. You're interested in this ultimately, hopefully you can get your hands on one. But it's in that startup kind of price range. And we're talking about belt drive turntables in both cases. In both cases, we have MDF plinths. The platters are going to be different. There's going to be some differences in the tone arm. This has a removable head shell. This is a single piece tone arm. So we're going to start over here with the Fosi Audio Luna 3. Now you can see already that it's going to appeal to some people because of the pops of color, which, these colors are something that run throughout the Fosi audio line with their, volume controls and push buttons and things like that. And it continues here. You're not going to have any options at this point. It's going to be orange and black or nothing. And this is giving me scarily JBL turntable vibes, which I did not care for. Let's not judge by JBL's mistakes. Maybe there's something here for you. Let's start with the tone arm area here. The removable head shell I like. This tone arm, the materials are unspecified in the documents that I read. It feels like low mass aluminum. There's a metal counterweight here, a very lightweight cueing lever, and a small anti-skate dial, belt drive, really wide rubber belt around this acrylic platter. And this is an interesting choice because acrylic platters usually come on turntables that are more expensive. So it is kind of a mystery that, they would put a better component here and then kind of not do their homework right here. In fact, this whole tone arm situation looks familiar to me, like maybe I've seen it on another company's turntable or so. It could be. I'm sure that stuff happens in the manufacturing world. Overall, I don't have any problem with it. It's a little plasticky here. But with regard to this tone arm assembly, the star of the show here is the Audio-Technica VM95 cartridge. I think that's a great starter cartridge, price appropriate, elliptical stylus, quality manufacturer, Audio-Technica. It's got that nice green color, and I think it's very appropriate. That's probably a $60 to $70 cartridge retail on a $300 table. That seems like a pretty good ratio. It's also upgradable. You want to put Shibata on there, you want to put Microline on there, you want to put Nude Elliptical on there, different choices in the Audio-Technica family. So while I feel like they cut back a little bit on the tone arm, I do like the fact that we have a quality cartridge. This is an acrylic platter. Now, normally you see that on higher end turntables, or more expensive turntables, I should say. So it's curious that, we would cut back a little bit on some of these tone arm features, but then splurge on the acrylic platter. But Fosi Audio must have their reasons. It's also topped with more acrylic. You've got a double stack of acrylic with this orange, I don't even know what to call it, platter topper. It's not really a matte, is it? Because it's solid. Has this nice indentation here that the record label would sit in, so the record will lie flat. But this thing can be bought third party as well. I know Hudson Hi-Fi sells different colors of this kind of top. You can swap this out for other colors. One of the cool things is when the light comes down through this, it kind of makes the clear acrylic platter take on that shade of color. So that's kind of fun. I talked about the plinth already. The finish is not bad. It doesn't feel super high-end, but it's smooth. It's clean. The corners look pretty good. On the back, the connections are all gold-plated. I'll show you a picture of the back, some options that you have. Both of these turntables come with a clear acrylic cover. I like to keep those in the box when I'm reviewing because they scratch easily, and I'm like that. Now, with regard to the motor, Fosi Audio says this is a copper core motor. It does have this kind of thick, flat rubber belt. There's no on-off switch here. You simply start the rotation by moving the tone arm over the platter. 4 rubber feet on the bottom. I don't think they're adjustable. Oh, and the final feature, well, they call it a feature even though it's no feature at all. They say that one of the features is that it doesn't have a built-in phono preamp. That's kind of odd to proclaim that something that's not included is a plus, but they feel like the less you have in the signal path, the better. And to be honest with you, it's probably a great way for them to sell one of the many phono preamps that are branded with a Fosi Audio logo. So just take note, it's not even an option. Some of the downsides and some of my concerns, I noticed with the prototype that when I opened the acrylic dust cover, the hinges kind of made a squeak. Also in the noise department, this motor you can hear. I don't know how to feel about that, because if I criticize Fosi Audio about that, I would have to criticize my beloved MoFi studio deck upstairs that also has some noise that I can hear when I'm leaning right over it putting down a record. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Again, from the listening position, it doesn't make a difference generally. And my final criticism, outside of the fact that some of the components underneath the tone arm feel a little plasticky and things like that, is that this is the first turntable, I believe, from Fosi Audio. Model 1, year 1, we don't know how it's going to perform, how it's going to stand the test of time. We don't know if this is fully baked yet, or they're using this as kind of a beta. They'll release this in the market eventually and get people's feedback and watch reviews like this and all that. I'm not saying it's bad at all. At this price point, it seems to be pretty solid, but only time will tell. Now we're going to go to the U-turn. Orbit Basic. Well, I've already told you the plinth is also MDF. It has a little bit of a texture to it. It feels a little more premium, but you're talking about, this plastic versus this plastic. This one's a little more premium. Totally subjective. This has rounded corners. These have square edges. This is thinner. It's assembled in America. Yeah, you're going to notice a couple little things like that, but how many times do you do that to a turntable, right? You set it, forget it, put the record straight on. This tone arm is magnesium. It's tapered. It's one piece. It doesn't have a removable head shell. That's going to be maybe a little bit of an issue for some, beginning audiophiles. It's a lot harder to change a cartridge, in my opinion, but I like the aesthetics of a one-piece tone arm a lot. I'm not going to talk about the cartridge yet because I've already replaced it with a Nagaoka MP110 because I wanted a little more rock and roll. I love this counterweight, this metal counterweight. Very nice, with a little screw on top that you can lock down that counterweight with. This is very simple. I like this look. I'm sure a lot of research has gone into this. U-turn has been around the block. They've been on the scene for a while. Instead of an acrylic or glass platter you would get like on a Riga or something like that. This is a simple MDF platter, not unlike the material that's used on the plinth. And, you know, I'm sure it's low resonance and all that. It comes with a basic felt slip mat. That's fine. You can get one of these toppers and put it on, you know, from Hudson Hi-Fi on Amazon or whatever, or you can go to your local record store and see what branded, imprinted mats that they might have in stock and kind of dress this thing up a bit. Oh, I forgot to mention the plinth comes in all kinds of decorator colors so you can really express yourself. Here, you're going to express yourself in orange. You've got an on-off switch on top, which I like. Tone arm activates motion here. Switch activates the rotation here. It's right on top. This also has rubber feet. And then when it comes to the belt, you don't have this wide rubber belt, but a very thin, tubular, they call it seamless belt. Is it silicone or silicone, or is it the same word? I don't even know. I like that minimalist form factor, that thinness. I don't know, it just speaks to me, as opposed to a big, thick rubber band. Also comes with a clear dust cover that attaches to these plastic hinges. These are metal spring hinges. These are just plastic hinges here. I don't think they're going to squeak. I don't think they're going to make a noise. I could be wrong. My studio deck, $2,500 upstairs, plastic hinges for the dust cover. Crazy, right? So again, we're talking about $300 to $350 here. Price-wise US, we're talking $250 without the phono preamp. You add a phono preamp, that's about another $75 or so. It takes you up to around $330. You're all in at the entry level to U-turn. But let's talk about some of my concerns. And I'm going to start with the cartridge, which I haven't told you yet is an AT91B, I believe. It looks a lot to me like a 3600, like you would get on a less expensive Audio-Technica turntable, like the 60 or the Soundburger or something like that. Man, I don't think U-Turn put their best foot forward here with that particular cartridge. It doesn't seem like a very good ratio. Not as good of a ratio as we have here, cartridge to turntable. But that's what they've chosen. Who am I to question their decisions? I don't have to answer to the board of directors every quarter to talk about expenses. But I think that 91B, which is conical as opposed to elliptical here, punches below its weight. If you're starting out, not to worry. When you get a overtime or something, just go out and buy a VM95 or something like that. So elliptical, conical. My other concern is at its base level, it doesn't have a cueing lever. That's not a deal breaker. In fact, for maybe a beginning audiophile, it is a teachable moment, to be able to handle securely a tone arm. Learn how to do that. Learn how to lift it on and off a record. You're going to be doing that with most turntables anyway. Kind of get your muscle memory built up, handling a tone arm. But I think there's an option when you buy this from U-Turn directly that you can add a cueing lever. You can also add that phono preamp. Of course, the price goes up, but that's the layout. Those are really my only concerns here, and I'm not sure what's going on with this, but again, how many times do I lean on a platter? So that's it. The tale of two turntables. Now it's up to you. I'm talking about the form factor, the features, some of the choices that have been made by these two manufacturers. Here, Fun-Fi product from a land far away, and here, a turntable assembled in the USA. So, which would you choose if, and you may not be, but if you were in the market for a $300 to $400 turntable, which of these would you choose? Put it in the comments below with your reasons. It's not fair to give an answer and not tell me what your justification is, all right? So I'm going to hold you to that. And while you're down there, let me know what turntable you enjoy in your personal audio setup. And as long as you're there, hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so we can continue videos like this. Now it's time for you as a registered member of United States of Analog to go to the polls, pull the lever for one of these two turntables. It's your audio civic duty or your civic audio duty. I'm not sure which one, but it's your duty to vote. Vote now. And then come back, because the geniuses at YouTube, well, man, I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they're using AI or they're just plain smart, but they've chosen another video for you to watch, and it's going to pop up in this general area. And it's going to be another one of my videos that you might enjoy, and if I can possibly influence YouTube, it'll be about a turntable or something like that. So go ahead and click on it. Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time in United States of Analog. Happy spinning. Cheers.
Oh!